Oh, hi. Hi guys. I hope you're keeping well. It's just been a little while. So yeah, I'm gonna be working on solving a system of equations, um, and putting them into matrix form, and then doing row reduction. So performing row operations on the matrix. Okay. So the question is saying solve the system of equations by using the rref method. So my system is so it's minus 7 x minus y minus 5 z equals minus 15, and minus x minus 2y minus 3z equals minus 4, then 3x plus 2y plus z equals 8, right? So putting that into matrix form, so that becomes minus 7 minus 1 minus 5, and then minus 15 minus 1 minus 2 minus 3 minus 4, and then 3 2 1 and 8. Okay, so the augmented matrix format. Okay, right. So what I'm going to start off doing is I'm going to multiply my row 1 and my row 2 by minus 1. So row 1 times minus 1, and then row 2 times minus 1. So this just gets rid of these negatives. Okay, 7 1 5 15 1 2, and then 3 4, and then 3 2 1 and 8. So that stays the same. The bottom row stays the same. It doesn't change anyway. Okay, and then going to the next operand. So what I'm going to do is multiply 7 row 2 minus row 1. That becomes my new row 1. And then 3 row 2 minus row 3. That becomes my row 3. Okay, so 7, that's 7 there times that 1. So 7, that becomes 7. So 7 minus 7, that's 0. So subsequently that becomes that. Sorry. So my row 2 stays the same. 1, 2, then 3, 4 there. And then my 3 row 2. So 3 times 3. 3 times 1 is 3, minus 3, then that becomes a 0. And then you just do the same thing as also 4, that 8, then that becomes 4. Okay, and then I'm going to swap my rows. So row 2 and row 1. So that becomes 1 and 2, and then that becomes a 4, 0, 13, 16, and a 13. Then that becomes 0, 4, then 8, then 4. Right, and then I'm going to multiply my row 3 times a quarter to become my new row 3. So then everything else stays the same. So that's 1, 2, 3 with a 4 there. Then 0, 13, 16, and then 13. That's the 0 there. So then a quarter times 4, that's 1. Then a quarter times 8, that's 2. Then a quarter times another 4 again, that becomes 1. Okay, right. And then what I'm going to do now is I'm going to multiply 1 over 13 times row 3, and that becomes, sorry, Yeah, sorry, I just got muddled up. Yeah, so 1 over 13 times row times row 2, then that becomes my row 3. Okay, so there's 1, 2, and 3, the 4 there, then that stays the same. So the 1 over 13 times row 2. Okay, so that'll just be a 0. So then 1 over 13 times 13, that's 1. Then 1 minus that 1, that becomes a 0. And then that becomes minus 10 over 13, and that becomes a 0. Okay, and moving further, I'm going to have to multiply minus 13 over 10, row 3, to become my row 3. So that will stay the same as well. Right, so that gets rid of that negative there, so that becomes 0 and 0, and that becomes 1, and that's 0. Okay, and then what I'm going to do now is I'm going to multiply row 2 times 1 over 13, and then also minus 3 row 3 plus row 1, that becomes row 1. Okay, so so the minus 3 times 0, that's 0, plus 1, so that stays the same, and that will stay the same as well because of that 0. And then minus 3 times 1 is minus 3 plus 3, with that 3 there, then that becomes a 0. And then that's a 4, so that becomes, then also multiplying row 2 times 1 over 13, so that becomes 0, that's 1, and then that's 16 over 13, that's 1, 0, 0, 1, then 0. Okay, and moving further, so minus 16 over 13, row 3 plus row 2. So row 1 stays the same, right? And so minus 16 over 13, so times 0, that will stay, that will become a 0. That will just stay as a 1 because that's a 0 there. And then that minus 16 times 1 is minus 16 over 13 plus that 16 over 13. So that cancels out, that becomes a 0. And the minus the 16 over 18 times 0 again is 0 plus 1. That stays as a 1. And that stays the same. Okay, so finalizing everything else, that's going to be minus 2 row 2 plus row 1. That will give me row 1. Okay, so that will stay the same there, 0, 1, 0, and then 0, 1, 0, then 1. Okay, so minus 2 row 2, okay, plus row 1 will become a row 1. So that minus 2 times 0 is 0, so that's just staying the same. Then minus 2 times 1 equals minus 2 plus 2 plus this 2, that becomes a 0. And then this is 0 again. And then the minus 2 times 1 is minus 2 plus 4, which becomes a 2 there. Okay, so that's it. This is the final answer. So x equals 2, y equals 1, z equals 0. So substituting that into the system of equations, you'll notice that so minus 7x minus y minus 5z equals minus 15, and minus x minus 2y minus 3z equals minus 4, then 3x plus 2y plus z equals 8. Okay, so doing the substitution, so minus 7 times 2 minus 1. This is minus 15. So minus 14 minus 1 equals minus 15. Right, so that's fine. And then likewise in the next one as well. So that's minus 2 and so which is minus 4, which is correct. And then finally the last one, so that's 3 times 2 plus 2y. Y is 1. And that's 8. So that's correct. So yeah, those are answers. Okay. So yeah, hopefully that was helpful, and hopefully those are. So cool. And have a good weekend. Well, thank you guys.